Welcome to Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics, Week 2, Module 2 lecture. Okay, for this module, let us have first the learning objectives to be familiarized of the learning objectives. Specific learning objectives. First, you are going to explain the concept of society and culture in anthropological and sociological perspective. Second, describe some major characteristics of society and culture. Third, differentiate between the various meanings of culture within society. And lastly, you are expected to appreciate the significance of culture in the society. So let us start our lesson with activity 1, in which you are going to have the picture analysis. Write your impression or impressions about the pictures or images below. You write your answer in a separate sheet of paper. So as you can see here, try to comment something out of these pictures in your learning module, considering our topic, which is culture and society. Okay, so this one we have 6 photos. The little boy having pagmamano or ang pagbless sa tigulang. This one is ang aton popular vehicle, which is the jeep, tatak Pinoy. And this one, a boy helping a grandmother, ang lola, ginabuligan sang batang lalaki. Then this one, ang babayi kag ang lalaki nga nagasuksok sang aton nga pambansang kasuutan. And this fifth picture shows the bayanihan, spirit of bayanihan. And this one is showing the picture of a carabao, which is our national animal, upod ang ini nga bata nga lalaki nga nagapakaon sang carabao. So try to write your impressions about these pictures and put that in a separate sheet of paper. Okay, for the activity 2, write the difference. You copy the diagrams below in a sheet of paper, then write the difference between culture and society. So you are going to identify what are the difference between culture and society. So using this diagram, you do give the differences between culture and society. Okay. Let us start the lecture for this week, meaning and nature of society, or what is the concept of society. So according to sociologists, a society is a group of people with common territory, interaction, and culture. So this is the basic definition sa aton nga society. Ang iyang mga component or criteria paano mo siya matawag nga society, it's una, may common territory. May mga common territory amo na sa ang teritoryo nga gina-occupy sang mga tao. Ikaduha, may interaction. May mga interaction, buot sa lingon, we have this social interaction or relationship to one another, nagakabuhi kita kaupod sang iban nga miyembro sang sina nga sosyedad. And lastly, culture, or may kultura kita nga ginas-practice or ginasunod. So according sa libro ni Arsenas, Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics defines society as a group of people who share. Try to remember these words, or this group of people who share, this term, who share a common territory and culture. Busa lingon, hindi pwede matawag nga society kung solo lang ang tao sa isa ka teritoryo, kag isa ka kultura. It's because bakit ang society, group of people who share. It is a group of people living together in a definite territory, having a sense of belongingness, mutually independent of each other, and follow a certain way of life. Na, kumbaga, example, diri sa aton nga barangay, matawag kita nga society man. No? Ang banwa, belonging kita sa banwa, isa man kita ka society. Sa province, isa man kita ka society. Sa Pilipinas, isa man kita ka society. Because we possess the elements or criteria to be called as a society. Okay. Society is derived from the Latin term societas, no? Halin sa Latin nga word nga societas nga buot silingon sa societas from the word socios, which means companion or associate. Buot silingon kaupod or updanay. From the word societas nga naghalin sa root word nga socios nga buot silingon companion kuno or associate. Buot silingon kaupod, no? Kaupod. Thus, it refers to all people collectively regarded as constituting a community of related, interdependent individuals living in a definite place, following a certain mode of life. Kung baga, may way of living kita kung paano kita nagkakabuhi sa isa ka susyudad. Definition of society has two types, no? The functional definition kag structural definition. So, mahambal kita nga functional point of view, society is defined as the complex of groups in reciprocal relationships interacting upon one another, enabling human organisms to carry on their life activities and helping each person to fulfill his wishes and accomplish his interest in association with his fellows. From the word function, ano ba na ang function? No? Sa isa ka sosyudad, ang tagsa-tagsa sa aton, no, katapos ang isa ka society, may kanya-kanya kita nga function. So that includes our wishes and the things that we want to accomplish, no, with or in association with our fellows. So, may halambalon gani nga no man is an island. But sa lingon, it's true that no man can survive, without associating or communicating or living with his or her fellows. That is for the functional. For structural point of view, society is the total social heritage of folkways, mores, and institutions of habits, sentiments, and ideals. The important aspect of society is the system of relationships, pattern of norms of interaction by which the members of society maintain themselves. So sa structural naman, ginahambal nga this is a total social heritage. Kumbaga, structure siya sa mga nagkasari nga mga folkways, mga pagpati naton, ginatuuhan naton, no, ang mga habit naton, no. That includes on the structural point of view of the society. So the following are reasons people live together as a society. Amano ko na ang mga reasons nga aman ang tao nagkakabuhi together, no, as bilang isa ka sosyedad. Una, for survival. Okay. Ang hapagina, no man is an island. No man can live alone. It's true. Wala sang tao nga nagkakabuhi nga siya lang. No? From birth to death, man always depends upon his parents and from others. No? The care, support, and protection given by them are important factors for survival. Diba? Kamatuuan ina nga even sa pagkatao naton, kinahanglan naton, no, nga ang help sang iba, no, nga for us to survive, for survival gani. Hindi pwede nga pagbata sa imo, pabayaan ka sa imo ginikanan, sa imo iloy, bahala ka na kung matiti ka o makaon ka or makamang ka or maano ka. That's why we receive this care, support, and protection coming from them. It's because we need to survive, no? Wala sang bata nga pagkabunag sa iya, mambal siya nga, ay, mabukod na ko balay, no? Pagbulag sa iya, mamalan, mabukod ako balay, 3 years old ka pa lang, mabukod ako balay, hindi ako gusto sa inyo. No, because the moment we were born, no, the moment naging bunag kita until the day nga madulaan kita sa ginhawa, we like it or not, or whether we like it or not, still, we really need other people to be with us, no? That is for care, support, and protection. Indeed, matuod na ginahambal, no man is an island because wala sang tao nga nagakabuhi nga siya lang, no? Okay. Next, or the second one, reason is the feeling of gregariousness. Mga mga gregarious, busilingon is the desire of wanting to live with other people or to be in companion with other people. Kung baga kagustuhan naton nga makig-upod no sa iban nga tawo or ang makipaghalubilo sa iban nga tawo, especially of their own culture, no? People flock together for emotional warmth and belongingness. May halambalon nga igambal nga birds with the same feather flocks together. No? It's because we have this natural, kumbaga innate na sa aton niya nga mangita sang sense of belongingness. Na even gani kung may mga friends kita kag great time nga wa kita ginasapak o nagsungod-sungod ila ka gintripan ili pagsapakon, naturally ang aton nga response is malain ang buot, masunggod ikaw. It's because you feel unwanted. Because natural sa tao nga may ara kita desire to be wanted, no, sa iban or to belong. The need for approval, sympathy, and understanding to which the individual belongs is a psychosocial need, no? Ang approval, maka-approval dapat iban gani para mabilong ka sa grupo ninyo. May mga bagay nga mahamba ka, dapat amo ka ni kay para bilong ka. So there are times na ginaobra nimo just to go with the group. Iba mga go with the flow ako kay para batunon ko nila. Sympathy or simpatya, no? Kinahanglan kita sang simpatya sa iban nga tawo, no? In times, or there are times in our life, no, we really need sympathy from others, especially during our downtime. Next is understanding, pag-intindi. So these are things that belongs to psychosocial need. Among Filipinos, the feeling of gregariousness is found in all levels of society, especially among the lower socio-economic classes, no? Ang feeling bilang ay dapat in ikaw sa nga bagay, no? The more the person is needy, the more he craves sympathy and understanding from someone else. Di ba kung makaluoy ikaw, usually gahandog ikaw nga tani may tao man nga naga-care sa akon or sa amon, nagaulikid sa amon kay makaluluoy kami, no? That incident would really push you to desire for others to give sympathy and to understand you or your situation. Okay. The third reason is specialization, no? So, dili masulod ang ginatawag naton nga association. Kumbaga, we associate ourselves for those group that we see nga may kapariho kita nga ideolohiya, pariho kita nga pananawan, pariho kita gusto nga may maabot. No, example, no, ang mga teachers, businessmen, students, physicians, nurses, lawyers, organize themselves into societies or associations to promote and protect their own professions. Okay, example, may mga grupo sa estudyante, grupo sa maestra, grupo sa mga doktor. So it's because they see or nakita nila nga they will be more heard, no, if they will associate or form a group in order to promote and protect their own pact or group. Okay, so those are the three reasons for people living together as a society. Again, for survival, feeling of gregariousness, and specialization. Okay, let us proceed to the characteristics of society. So, number one, it is a social system. Buod sila nun, makita nga social system, kaya nga hambala nga social ha, kung social ikaw, may society ka, no? Makita nga social system, buod sila nun, it is a interaction of individuals, no? May sistema. A system consists of subparts whereby a change in one part affects the others. Thus, a change in one group of individuals will affect the stability of the other parts of the system. No? Try to look at bala sa klase, sa isa ka klase, may ara dala sa sari nga mga grupo. Grupo sa mga alam, grupo sa mga medyo alam, grupo sa mga gwapa lang, grupo sa mga gwapo lang, no, grupo sa mga famous, no? If a certain group will behave differently or maobra sang bagay nga malain, no? Indirectly or directly, gakaapektuhan ang bilog nga klase. It's because makita nga social system, ang sistema kaapektuhan kung may isa dira ka parte or isa ka subpart nga naga-behave differently from the whole group, no? Okay, number two, it is relatively large. The people must be socially integrated to be considered relatively large than if the people are individually scattered. That's why the people in a family, clan, tribe, neighborhood, community are socially integrated to be relatively large in scope. No? Ang isa ka tao, automatically na belong sa isa ka family, may pamilya siya. Pero not all may family, no? Pero still, may parent inagihalinan, they were just being scattered. So, relatively large. No? Hindi pwedeng ang tao magkanya-kanya nga mag-individual scattered sila. It's because mga relatively large, usually, ang tao yan nagatipon or nag-associate with one another. No? Halin sa family, may clan, may tribo, mga kaingod, then bilog na nga community. That is. So, it's relatively large kung mahambal kita nga society composed of different subgroups or subpopulation. Okay, next, number three. Characteristic, it socializes its members and from those from without. Since most of society's members are born to it, they are taught the basic norms and expectations. Those who come from other societies before being accepted as functioning members are socialized and taught the basic norms and expectations of the society. Example bala? Gintawo ikaw bilang imol. So, ara ikaw sa imol nga community, example sa squatters, no? Sa squatter ikaw nag-star. O squatters area. Nagdako ikaw dira, ginpadako ikaw sa pangabuhi nga panigado, halos na lang dira pigado sa palibot ninyo. Until such time, na found out abi nga bata ikaw gali iya sang hindi ikaw tutuon nga bata, no, sang sina nga pamilya, din nahibaluan mo nga bata ikaw sa manggaranon. So what will happen here, dili masulod ang change, no, ang pagbag-o sa imo nga mga ginapatihan, imo nga mga practices. So before ikaw mabaton, no, before ikaw introduce, di ba, sa mga pelikula, before introduce sila ang mga imol nila nga mga kabataan, ginatudloan danay, gina-training, gina-orient, no, para maging hambal na maging karapat-dapat ikaw sa amon nga society sa mga manggaranon. So that's it. Okay. Next, number 4. It endures, produces, and sustains its members for generation. No? Mahambal mo sa society, for society to survive, it must have the ability to produce, endure, and sustain its new members for at least several generations. For instance, if a society cannot assist its members during the extreme conditions of hunger and poverty, that society will not survive long. So, kung isa ka society, dapat ang imo mga miyembro masustain mo, no? Mabuhi sila. Okay, it's because if you cannot sustain that certain society or your members, eventually, ang ina nga society, mamat-amat lang dula. Diba? Okay, next. Number 5, it holds its members through a common culture. The individuals in a society are held together because that society has symbols, norms, values, patterns of interaction, vision, and mission that are commonly shared by the members of such society. Kumbaga, ang isa ka syudad, nag-stick together sila because they shared, no? They shared the same vision, no? And mission. Kung the same man, palariho ang ilang mga practices or ilang mga pagpatipagid. Okay, number 6. It has clearly defined geographical territory. The members in a society must live in a certain specific habitat or place and have a common belongingness and sense of purpose. Bosalingon, may lugar di ka man ikaw magpalipat-lipat, no? For example, bamang ka taga diin ikaw, no? Sa Barangay Gabi ako ga-star sa amo ni nga purok sang Barangay Gabi. So, you have your specific geographical territory. No? Example, kung sa Pilipinas, aton nga teritoryo. Hindi pwede nga ma-star dira ang taga-China sa sakop or sa teritoryo sang Pilipinas. Okay. So we are done with the characteristics of society. Now let us proceed to the major functions of society. So number 1, it provides a system of socialization. Pag sa society, we have this system of socialization on how we interact, no? Knowledge and skills, dominant patterns of behavior, moral and social values and aspects of personality are transmitted to each member, especially to the young. The family, the peer group, the school, the church, and other government and non-government organizations play a role in individuals' development. No, talaga sila collective ini. Hindi pwede nga mambal ka nga you are only influenced or being shaped by your parents. Because yes, ang aton nga panimalay is the number 1 or the primary school or learning, no, place. But as we grow older, we tend to go out, no, beyond the boundaries of our family. Naka-learn kita sa aton nga friends, sa school, sa church, or as a government as a whole. So these are collective rules of this system of socialization that help shape or improve the individual's development. Okay, second, it provides the basic needs of its members. Okay, basic needs such as food, clothing, shelter, medicine, education, transportation, and communication facilities. So tanan, ara dira sa aton nga society ina. Pero it's not for free now. Mambakahay, provide man bala sa society ang aton nga basic needs nga aman haw nga gabakal pa ko. It's because it's part of the system. Kay kung ipanghatag lang ina, then what will happen? No, sa mga naga-provide or naga-provider naton sa aton nga mga basic needs. So it's just a cycle of give and take relationship. Okay. Number 3, it regulates and controls people's behavior. No, kung ikaw na belong sa isa ka society, usually may mga polisiya ina nga sundo, hindi lang mo pinagusto, may mga layi, may mga ordinansa, may rules na ginasunod, may mga policy, no? That's why sa aton nga sa syudad, hindi free ang magpatay because ang pagpatay is sala. That's why dakpon ikaw, persohon ka. So these are meant to control the behavior of the people within the society because it will serve or it will secure the peace and order with this kind of system in a formal organizations or society. Number 4, it provides the means of social participation. Through social participation, the individuals in society learn to interact with each other, present and discuss their concerns and solve their own problems or renew their commitment and values. So sa dali nga part, ginatagaan chance ang isa ka isa sa aton to participate, no? Ang kanya-kanya sa aton may kanya-kanya man na obligasyon, participation sa aton nga society. Example sa barangay. So bilang estudyante, ano yung mga participation? Bilang teacher, ano yung participation? Bilang barangay official, ano yung mga participation? So that is for us to have the opportunity to express, no, ourselves, and the same with to stand for our rights and for what is right, no? Hindi pwedeng pagustuhan ay lang. Okay, number 5, it provides mutual support to the members. Mutual support is provided to the members of society in the form of relief in any form and solution to problems met by them, no? Mga bulig. That's why ang bintaha kung bilong ikaw sa isa ka society, sa isa ka grupo, no? Kay may mapangayuan ka bulig, mapangayuan ka advice or support, no, or help, no, especially in times of needs or in times of problems. Okay, so that's for the functions of society. Let us proceed to the types of society. So there are different types of societies which exist in a particular places and times, and they have changed over time. Societies are organized in particular patterns that are shaped by a range of factors, including the way people procure food, the availability of resources, contact with other societies, and cultural beliefs. For example, people can change from herding to farming only if they have the knowledge, skills, and desire to do so, and only in environments that will support agriculture. So, ang mga sa syudad, no, nakasari-sari man. Kung sa city, syempre, wala ka may makita nga mga umuma sa city gid, no? Kaya wala sa umma sa city. Syempre, makita mo ang mga society sa mga mangunguma kag mangingisda sa mga probinsya, sa may mga dagat, kag sa may mga kabukiran. Okay. So, we have here sa box, no, types of societies according to economic and material system, according to evolutionary view, and according to people's subsistence. Una, sa pre-class societies, according to economic and material system, we have here 4, 5, 6 ka types of societies under kung magabasihan mo ang economic and material system. Okay. For the first one is pre-class societies. They are characterized by communal ownership of property and division of labor. Examples of these societies are earliest clans and tribes. So, una dali, mga communal ownership, tanan ka mo, panang iya sa sinang property, kag ginatunga-tunga lang ninyo ang mga obligasyon. So, usually makita inasa from the word pre-class sang mga sinang-una pa nga mga tribo kag clans, no? According naman sa evolutionary view naman, we have this simple society. These were predominantly small, nomadic, and leadership is unstable. The people had no specialization of skills, thus they live in a simple life. Ang mga simple societies, ang word simple, simply lang. Gamay siya, mga nomadic, balhin-balhin kisa. Kag ang ilang liderato, kumbaga ang nagapamuno sa ilang community o ilang society is pailis-ilis. So this is depending on the place they are moving in. The same way, both sa skills, wala na din sila usually sang skills gid because they depend on survival. Kung ano makita sa palibot, amo na ilang kanon, kay simple lang ang ilang pagpangabuhi. According to people's subsistence naman niya, food gathering society, ang composed na siya sa more than 16 it is dated more than 16,000 years ago. The people survived from day to day through hunting larger animals, collecting shellfish, and vegetable gathering. Their tools were made of stones, wood, and bones. According sa people's sustenance, food gathering society, amo ni ang mga tao na nga depend lang sa kung ano ang ara sa palibot. Kay mamuksi lang sila sa mga prutas, no, magpamulot sa mga shellfish, no, why sila nagapangita sang paagi to plant or to propagate some certain land. Okay. For the second one, Asiatic societies naman, the people are economically self-sufficient but their leaders are despotic and powerful. So there is sila in terms of economy, they are self-sufficient. But ang problema is ang ilang mga liderato. Tama ka mga despotic and powerful, mga poderoso ng mga tao. Okay. For the second one is compound societies. Two or more simple societies merge to form a new and bigger societies. These societies tended to predominantly settled agricultural societies and tended to be characterized by a division of 4 or 5 social classes. From the word compound, it composes of 2 or more simple societies. No? Usually, they are divided into 5 social classes ang compound societies. And usually they are agricultural, kumbaga pangunguma kag pangingisda, no, o pangunguma. Okay. Next is horticultural societies. The people planted seeds as a means of production or for subsistence. So dili naman niya nagatanom na sila from the word horticulture. Most of they plant, no, sang seeds, no, ga propagate sila in terms of food production. Okay. Next is ancient societies. These are characterized by private land ownership. The rich, those who have, own big tract of private properties, while the poor, those who have not, work as laborers. So, dili nga part naman sa ancient societies, dili naman sulod ang private ownership, no, sa mga tao nga may kaya o mga manggaranon. Tapos ang mga wala-wala amo na ang nagaserve bilang ilang trabahante. Okay. Next one is the doubly compound societies. These are completely integrated, more definite in political and religious structure, and more complex division of labor. Considerable progress in infrastructure and knowledge in arts had taken place. Mga bahambal diya completely integrated, no? Damo na diri sang kung may integration of the different groups and practices by which more definite, no, about sa political and religious structure. Kumbaga, complex, no, mas komplikado na ang division of labor o ang pag-ubra or trabaho. Next is pastoral societies. Most of the people are nomadic, from the word pastoral, no, mga pastol, who follow their herds in quest for animals, for food, and clothing to satisfy their needs. They raise animals to provide milk, fur, and blood for protein. Example ni ang mga manog-alaga balasang karnero. So usually dili sa pastoral societies kay nagapang lugayawan na sila depende kung dito ang may mga dabo ng mga hilamon nga kanaan sa ilang mga kasapatan. Okay. Next will be the feudal societies. The aristocrats o mga feudal lords owned the wealth of the country due to their ownership of big tracts or land. So ang mga autocrats ni amo ni sa ang mga kumbaga landlord na bala sa mga halutaan. The peasants worked on the lands of the feudal lords with only few benefits received by them. So ang negative sinidari kay tam-an ka monopolize, no, sang feudal lords ang property and the ownership sa mga kadutaan. Ang tendency gaobra ni ang mga imol sa ila with only few or gamay lang nga benepisyo. Tama pa kanon lang kamuda, no, kagtigaan sa inyo kinahanglanon pero hindi sobra-sobra nga makapagusto kamo. Okay, doon na nag-umpisa ang pag-rise no sa cities no and metropolis as a result of rise of trades and industries. Naguba man ni later on ang feudal societies. Next is militant societies. These are characterized by the existence of military organization and military rank. The word militant, no? Existence ng military and military rank. Private possessions are at the disposal of the state. Na even though may panaiyahan, ikaw diri, but still, you are under the disposal of the state, no? On the same way, regulated niya ang mga aktibidades nila no sa state, meaning to say individuals exist to serve the state. Agricultural societies, in the early agricultural societies, people used plow than hoe in food production. By the use of plow, it turns the topsoil deeper, following for better aerating and fertilizing, thus improving better yield when harvested. Irrigation farming was introduced, which resulted to a larger yield of production. So, dali nga part, nag-improve na ang ilang way of farming sa agricultural society. Okay. Next is capitalist societies. These societies existed in societies where two classes of people appeared. The bourgeois, or the property owners, who own the capital and the means of production, and the proletariat, the laborers or workers. So, under sa capitalist societies, duwa ang klase ang tao. Ang bourgeois, or ang gapanag-iyas, ang property, ang proletariat, ang tawag nila, amo na sa mga laborer na nag-aobra para sa mga kapitalista. Okay, din ang gina-sell no sa mga trabahante na lang ilang parte sa mga kapitalista. Okay, next, industrial societies. These societies are characterized by the following. People elect their representatives to protect their individual initiatives. May freedom of belief, religion, production, or industrial goods exist. Disputes and grievances are settled through peaceful arbitration and business organization. So, dali, well represented and dali ang kada individual. It's because they have this election for the representative nga ma-represent sa ila sa society. No, the same man, ang mga problema no gina-solve no not only by few or those in power or in position but by organizations. Okay. Next, industrial societies. These societies began in the 18th century during the Industrial Revolution and gained momentum by the turn of 19th century. So sa daling period, use na sang machines, no? May mga machines na diri as a means of food production. May production sang guns, inventions sang steam locomotives, and large productions of steel. Kumbaga may mga makinarya na diri sa industrial societies. Okay. Next is democratic societies. From the word democracy, these societies are characterized by free enterprise, where people are free to engage in any lawful business for profit or gain. People had to work on their own livelihood according to what the law mandates. So diriya may free will ang tao no to work no nga magpangabudlay basta according lang sa insakto nga layhi. Okay. Post-industrial societies. These are characterized by spread of computer machines. No, doon ang communication and existence of information communication, nag-invention na sa mga medicine, agriculture, or ng, kumbaga, din ang full blast ng ano. So, sa subong po, kita ma-consider na nga post-industrial society, no? It's because we are in advancement, no, sa ibang field. Next is post-industrial societies or information societies. Na from the title, information societies, by which information and communication technology is the hallmark of this modern society. So kita can be considered as both industrial and information societies kita sa subong. But with this along sa sininga mga improvement or development, no, or progress, may mga problema man kita nga atubang like pollution, lung illness, skin problems, and many other. Okay, that's for the types of societies. Let's proceed to the dissolution of a society. Okay, let's proceed to the dissolution of society. So, what are the several ways by which society is dissolved? No? Nga man nagakadula, no? Or nagaka-end ang mga certain society. Una, when the people kill each other through civil revolution. Siyempre, kung magpinatsanay ang mga tao ay because nagyera, usually maubos, no, isang prabi kung labanay ang China kag ang Philippines lang taon ta kung sino ang maperdi, no, given with the preparation man sang China when it comes to war, siguro basi dugmo kita or madula kita sa listahan or sa mapa, no. Okay, second, when an outside force exterminates the members of the society. No, kung may mga outside forces nga maging rason nga maubos ang ina nga mga tao or miyembro sang society, i-exterminate sila, no? Pang i-abduct, i-ambush, pang kidnapon, no? Okay, number 3, when the members become apathetic among themselves and have no more sense of belongingness. O kumbaga, madulaan ka na sang sang rason nga mabaka ay tamad ako magkabuhi taan ko sa nga lugar. Hindi ako taan ko maging Filipino na. So, we become apathetic or we don't have no sense of belongingness. Usually, we will end our life. Kung ka na lang, taan ka sa problema sa Pilipinas. So, that's it. Number 4, when a small society is absorbed by a stronger and larger society by means of conquest or territorial absorption. Or in short, kung sakupon kita, no? Kung sakupon kita or sakupon ng isa ka society, sang isa ka mas powerful nga society, ang tendency, syempre, kung weaker society ka mo, laban-laban ma-end ang inyong society or madula ka mo or ma-dissolve. Number 5, when an existing society is submerged in water, killing all the people and other living things in it. Grabe naman niya. Kung malumsan ka mo or madula ang inyong society, no, inyong population, no, sa tubig. Example, ang Pilipinas, kita man nasubong sang madula kita sa mapa, then eventually madula man ang tao, kawan na istaran. Then, next will be when the people living in such a society voluntarily attach themselves to another existing society. Kung maapin ka lang sa pihak or dito ka lang sa pihak na maimpo na lang ko to, dito lang ko sa ila kaya mas na to ya. Dulaon ko na akong pagka-Pilipino, mahadto ako sa USA. So, that's it. Those are the several reasons that can be a reason for a society to be dissolved or madula siya. Okay, so we are done discussing the different concepts about society. Now, let us proceed to the concept of culture, meaning and nature of culture, or ano bala ang boss na kita nga kultura. It was E.B. Taylor who conceptualized the definition of culture in the year 1860s. So, according sa iya, culture is a complex whole which consists of knowledge, beliefs, ideas, habits, skills, abilities, values, norms, art, law, morals, customs, traditions, feelings, and other capabilities of man which are acquired, learned, and socially transmitted by man from one generation to another through language and living together as members of society. So, amo ni ang kultura, no? Tama ka complex, gid man kay kadamo sang iya nga mga nasasakupan nga aspeto. Okay. Below are other definitions of culture as mentioned in the book of David and Makaraeg entitled Sociology, Exploring Society and Culture. So according sa kay Clifford Geertz, culture is a historical transmitted pattern of meanings embodied in symbols, a system of inherited conceptions expressed in symbolic form by means of which men communicate, perpetuate, and develop their knowledge about and attitudes towards life. Kumbaga, hambalya, transmission, no? O ang pagbalhin sa mga simbolo or simbolismo nga ginagamit sa tao nga makipag-communicate or magkabuhi together as society. Second is, according kay Roy D. Andrade, culture consists of learned systems of meaning communicated by means of natural language and other symbol systems having representational, directive, and affective functions and capable of creating cultural entities and particular senses of reality. So, din naman niya, learned systems of meaning. Kumbaga, ang mga kahulugan sa mga bagay-bagay nga sa palibot, including na sa aton nga symbol system and language, no? Kaysa una, wala man kita organized gid nga language, no? It started from symbols, from signs, no? Okay, next. According kay Leslie White, culture is an extrasomatic or non-genetic or non-bodily temporal continuum of things, events dependent upon symbols. Consist ni siya sa tools, implements, utensils, clothing na ang mga pinangsuksok naton, ang art, language, ang mga hampang, ritual naton is parte ina sa ginatawag naton nga kultura. So ang kada society may lain-lain nga kultura. Okay, next is, according kay Whiten and Hunter, culture consists in the shared pattern of behavior and associated meanings that people learn and participate in within the groups to which they belong. Patterns ng behavior or mga pamatasan, attitudes naton, tantan ng mga practices naton, wherein we learn, no, and participate, no, together with other members of the society. Next is, a society culture consists of whatever is it is one has to know or believe in order to operate in a manner acceptable to its members. So, ang mga bagay ni kuno nga nabalaan, kay ginapatihan naton, nga naging serve kung paano kita maghulag, kag magkabuhi, kag ina-acceptable or okay sa aton mga kaupod or sa aton nga membro or member pa sa aton nga susyudad. Okay. Culture, according kay Malinowski, culture is an instrumental reality and apparatus for the satisfaction of biological and derived need. So it is the integral whole consisting of implements in consumer goods, mga social groupings, human ideas, crafts, beliefs, and custom. That is according kay Malinowski. According naman kay Clackhon, kag Kelly, culture is general as a descriptive concept means the accumulated treasury of human creation. Kumbaga, ang kabilugan, no? Kumbaga, ang pagtipon sa tanan-tanan ng mga ginubra sang tao, such as libro, painting, building, and different, both human and physical, like your language, etiquette, ethics, religion, and morals, nga na-build up, no, throughout the time. Okay. Next, we have, according kay Herskovits, culture refers to the part of the total setting of human existence which includes material objects, no? Sa example na ang mga manufacture techniques, points of view, mga layi, no, nga made sa tao to be part of the environment. Okay, next, according to Harris, culture is the total socially acquired life way or lifestyle, no, lifestyle kuno sa mga tao. No, it consists of pattern, perspective, mga ways of thinking, feeling, that is according niya sa kay Harris. O paano ito kabuhi ang tao No, that is culture. Okay, next, the concept of culture as everything that people have, thinks, and does as members of society. Ang tanong ng mga bagay, kung nga may ara ang tawo, ginapanumdum niya, kag maara man sa membro sang sina nga society. Well, let's proceed to the characteristics of culture from the perspective of sociologists and from the perspective of anthropologists. Okay, so first characteristics of culture according to the perspective of sociologists is it's dynamic. Ang mga dynamic, it's broader in sense, flexible, it can be go beyond the time and test of time and everything, and adaptive, meaning to say it can go with the flow. No, culture necessarily changes and is changed by a variety of interactions with individuals, media, technology, and many other. No, cultures interact and change. Sambal niya, nagabago ang kultura. That's why it becomes dynamic, flexible, and adaptive. Culture is adaptive and dynamic. Once we recognize problems, culture can adapt again in some positive way to find solutions. No, kung may mga certain situation or instances, no, na maatubang naton, we tend to find solution and to devise ways. So in that way, culture becomes dynamic, flexible, and adaptive. No, example, ginuot sa una, waay sang electric fan. No, ang inobraton pangayab. Until naobra ibang dahon na unang ginobra kayab. Then nakaobra sang kagalingon nga design sang pamaypay. Then until such time na imbento ang electric fan. So it becomes flexible and adaptive. So also culture is learned. Kumbaga matun-an, no, through the process of enculturation. No, example ang mga practices na naton, no, sa panimalay, nagaka-adapt sang bata is because through teaching or enculturation, yung tudlo sang ginikanan. Ang pagrespeto, ang proper na pagkaon, ang insakto nga pamisti, ang pagtahod sa mga ginikanan, sa katigulangan, no? So those are culture said, it is said that it is being or can be learned. Okay. Next is shared and maybe challenged. So it can be in a sense that it is being practiced, no, by different members of the society. It has the shared nature of culture. But silingon, even though gina-share or it's being shared by people with the same aspirations, it does not mean nga homogeneous siya. Even though nga the same ang mga tao nga naga-practice na, it does not mean nga homogeneous siya. But silingon, it is shared, but it is dynamic. Kumbaga, nasari-sari, it's diverse, no? And it may be challenged. Sometimes, ang mga parties ng kultura naton becomes challenge nga madula, no? Example, ang mga dating mga practices ng katigulangan subong kakamat-amat na dula, no? Iban ginatry man nga i-restore, but still there are things or part of our culture that already being dissolved. Okay, number 2, it's symbolic. Culture symbolic as it based on the manipulation of symbols. So, example na ang sa atong mga pagpati, sa relihiyon, pagsaot, pagkanta, and different aspects, no, ang kultura tama ka symbolic na may mga simbolismo. No, example sa iban may simbolismo, maghatag ka sang flower, may mga symbolism. Maghatag ka sang panyo, may magregalo ka sang panyo, may symbol ina siya, may buot sang silingon. Okay. Next is learn through socialization and enculturation. That is, if you communicate or you live with the other members of the society like our family and friends, we tend to absorb, no, and learn sa culture nila. Example, halin ka sa isla, nagpa-city ikaw, so there are things nga lain ang kultura sa city or sa kaumhan, lain man ang kultura sa isla, lain ang kultura sa syudad, no? There are times nga ang imong nakinaandan diri sa pulo kung dalon mo sa city matingala sila nga aman amo ikaw sina. And after such time for you to go with the flow, you need or there is a need for you to learn sa kultura sa iban, no? Or to adapt. Next is it's systemic and integrated. Culture is systemic and integrated as the parts of culture work together in an integrated whole. Kumbaga, there are things, no, nga ginahambal naton nga should function hand in hand or it must go along. Do not function in isolation but an integrated whole. No? The system of meanings and many other facets of culture such as religion, economic activities, inheritance, and political process do work together. No? It's not in isolation but in an integrative manner. Also, it is said that culture is patterned in or patterned social interaction, no? Kumbaga naka-pattern siya. May norms, for example, our cultural expectation in terms of how one will think, feel, and behave, no? Example, abi sa society bilang isa ka lalaki, anong expect sa imo? Dapat usually ubahon mo ang ubang panglalaki. Kung babayi ka, dapat ubahon mo ang ubang pang babayi. But at the time, as the time passes through, there are things that can be done, no, regardless of gender. So that masulod is ang patterns also changes, no. Okay. Next, culture is shared, no, as it offers people ideas about behavior, no. It is shared. Hindi pwede nga kung amo lang ko niya, bala kamo ya adjust. Hindi pwede. Time will come that you need to share what you have and to learn on from others because culture is or can be shared. Next is transmitted through socialization or enculturation. Yes, it's true. No, ang kultura ma-transmit natin or ma-adapt sa iban through socialization or gina-share natin sa iban, no? Gina-pass through, ginatudlo natin sa mga younger generations or sa iban nga subgroups. Also, culture is encompassing. Bosilingon, culture covers every feature of humanity. Kumbaga, it encompasses every feature of community. Kumbaga, nasasakop niya, no? Ang mga sabi nga aspeto sa aton nga katawhan or bilang isa kita ka society. Okay. And the last one will be culture requires language and other forms of communication. Yes, no, effective give ang language in terms of sharing, no, or in enculturation of culture, language idya mas madasig sa symbol nga magsinyas kalang tayo lang magsinyas kalang kisa la ilang meaning sa isa la ilang meaning nimo. It's because we didn't have that unified symbols, no. Unlike sa language, kung maghambal ikaw through Filipino or English, they can usually understand English, no. Kung ma-English ka, it's because English is a universal language. Okay, let us start the importance and functions of culture. So according to sociologists, recognize and regard culture as one of the most important concepts within sociology because it plays a vital role in our social lives. So meaning to say, it is essential or importante siya in shaping for social relationships, maintaining and challenging social order, determining how we make sense of the world, and how it helps in shaping our place and in shaping our everyday actions and experiences in society. So, amo na ka-importante ang kultura because it helps us to shape, no, not only our society but us individually. Moreover, culture is important to sociologists because it plays a significant and important role in the production of social order. So ang aton nga social order, no, sa aton nga community or sa aton nga society are sometimes based on this culture, no? The social order refers to the stability of society based on the collective agreement to rules and norms that allow us to cooperate, function as a society, and live together in peace and in harmony. So, amo na ang social order ang nag-guide sa aton kung paano kita mag-deal sa isahang isa, paano kita magkabuhi bilang isa ka maayo nga tawo with peace and harmony. Okay. So, in the book of David and Makaraig, the following functions of the culture were given emphasis. Una, it serves as the trademark of the people in the society. Kung mga trademark, tatak, no? Ang kultura, nagaserbi bilang tatak or trademarks ng isa ka society. For example, mambal siya, ikaw taga-isla kagid sang batasan mo na o sa imo nga ginaobra. Mo daw taga-isla kagid, na. Daw taga-bukid kagid. Mabay magsinggit ka bala mo, tawa bala daw taga-bukid, no? That is trademark. It gives meaning and direction to one's existence. Okay. So, kita, kung nakahibalo, kita kilala nato ng aton nga kultura bilang isa ka Pilipino, we can achieve a sense of direction, no? Kag meaning, kung nga aman nagakabuhi, kita nga aman gintaw, kita nga Pilipino, hindi Amerikano, hindi German, no? Next, it promotes meaning to individuals' existence. Okay, knowing our own culture, no, makabulig sa pagkilala pagid or sa pagpangita sa meaning nga aman nagakabuhi kita in such a way sa subong nga panahon. Number 4, it predicts social behavior. So sometimes our culture predicts social behavior. Ano ay ang magiging future sang sina nga klase sang society. Now, so notice sa subong, no, there are individuals, especially adults, no, naghambal kunong ang kabataan subong daw waay nagid sang labot. So that's part of the culture of the youth. So with that idea, we can predict what will be the future of our society having such kind of youth. Number 5, it unifies diverse behavior. Okay, so even though that we have this diversity, no, in terms of behavior, but because we shared some commonalities, culture serves as a unifying agent, no, nga ginaisa kita even though sa tiyak sa aton nga mga nagkalain-lain nga pagpati practices, no. Okay, next is it provides solidarity or social solidarity. So we have this oath, no, sometimes, no, example ba sa pamilya, baka kung patugabalas ka ng pamilya ginaiya magkainano, kung saan idol ikaw, iilahagin na iya sang unungan. The same man kung sa kabilugan, no, kung nabilong ikaw na Filipino are ready or we're ready to fight for the lives of their loved ones and even for the right and for the common good, no? Okay. Next is establishes social personality. Now, because of culture, we have this identity or what we call uniqueness in terms of social identity. Paano mahambal nga ikaw matudtuod gid nga Filipino, ikaw matudtuod gid nga Ilonggo, no? Okay, next, it provides systematic behavioral pattern. Because of culture, we were shaped by culture. Therefore, we have this systematic behavioral pattern which is being practiced or being observed within our group. Number 9, it provides social structure category. Okay, because of culture, because of culture, we have this social structure. No? Lain ang kultura sa imol, sa middle class, sa mga high class ng mga tao. Next is, it maintains the biologic functioning of the group. So within culture, syempre, you will be marrying, you will reproduce within such group, maintaining the biologic function of our society. Next, it offers ready-made solutions to man's material and immaterial problems. Okay, because of our culture, we find solutions or answers to the questions in terms of different concerns that tackles material and immaterial problems na ginaatubang naton, no? Ang solution ara man within sa aton nga group, if we are just knowledgeable enough to use our culture as a means in finding solution. Next will be, it develops man's attitude and values and gives him a conscience. So, paagi sa kultura, nag-develop ang aton nga pamatasan, ang aton mga values, kag the same man maglambo pa o magtubo pa ang aton nga konsensya, no? Hambal gani nila, the way you are trained, no, will determine of what person you will be, no? Ga-reflect ina sa kung diin ikaw naghalin, sino ang mga tao nga ara sa palibot nimo, kag ano nga klase sa mga tao ang ara sa palibot nimo, which will eventually influence you to be a person you are today. Okay, that's for the importance and functions of culture. Let us proceed to the elements of culture. Ano ba ang mga elements ng culture or kultura naton? Una, symbols. Refers to anything that is used to stand for something else. Kumbaga, may symbolism kita. No? Hamba ko nagkagina, may mga bagay nga ara sa palibot naton nga it possess meaning. No? And it is anything that gives meaning to the culture. People who share a culture often attach a specific meaning to an object, gesture, sound, or image. No? Mabagita na nga black, ang meaning sang black nga color, buso tingon, morning, masubo, may napatay. No? Iban ga white, no? Purity. So, mag-drawing kita sang heart, kag maghatag sina sa atong opposite sex. Sometimes it means you are expressing your feeling of love, no, towards sa sinang tao. Those particular events give a representation of a particular culture. Even the meanings we provide to things such as colors and graphic symbols provide understanding which is common to a certain group of people. Ang mahambal ko na ang color, ang bulak, ang object, may kanya-kanya ina nga meaning. So, those are what we call symbolism. Okay. Second is language, no? Language is known as the storehouse of culture. It is a system of words and symbols used to communicate with other people. So there's sa Pilipinas, damo-damo kita dialects, no, that provide means of understanding. So may lingwahe. Ang kultura may lingwahe. O example sa Ilonggo, mabalaan sa taga Manila kung Ilonggo ikaw base sa tono sang imo, accent sang imo nga paghambal. So ang kultura, there is a language because it is one of the easiest way or venue to transmit some culture to future generation through learning. Okay. Third, technology. It refers to the application of knowledge and equipment to ease the task of living and maintaining the environment. It includes artifacts, methods, devices created and used by people. So, di masugod ang mga bagay nga na-invento natin out of our culture. Tungod sa aton curiosity, tungod sa aton inquisitive mind, no, naka-create kita nga parte sa aton nga kultura. Next is values. Are culturally defined standards for what is good or desirable. So, diri masulod ang mga remarkable values that are known for Filipinos, ang pagiging compassionate or maluluyon, spirit of kinship and camaraderie, ang pagiging friendly nato, no? Hard work and industry, mahugot, ability to survive, maparaan kita, faith and religiosity, flexibility, adaptability and creativity, joy and humor, family orientation, hospitality and pakikipagkapwa-tao. Actually, if you are going to go around the world, no, damo naghambal nga kanami kuno sang kultura sang Pilipino. That's why damo mga foreigner ang nagapangasawa Filipina is because mga mapinalanggaon kuno ang Filipino. And one of the remarkable traits that we have is being hospitable and humane, no? Kag naara kita gid pagpalangga especially sa mga katigulangan kag kabataan. No? Okay. That's for the values. Next is beliefs. Refers to the faith of an individual. No? Ang mga pagpati sa isa ka tawo. They are conceptions or ideas of people have about what is true in the environment around them, like what is life, how to value it, and how one's believed on the value of life relate with his or her interaction with others, no? So, example adiri aton mga pagpati, no? Examples common sense naton, folk wisdom, kag religion. So, ang mga Pilipino is remarkable man pag-abot sa tawag nga faith or sa aton nga ginapatihan, no? Mahilig kita sa mga pamahiin, no? Part na sa aton nga belief system. Number 6 is norms. Are specific rules or standards to guide for appropriate behavior. So, norms, from the word norms, which is meaning normal, no? Like in school, we are expected to behave in a particular way. If we violate norms, we look different, no? That's why, no? Even in sa eskwelahan, sa panimalay, no? Sa community, may mga norms kita nga dapat i-observe, no? As naging gina-expect halin sa aton, example, sa panimalay, you are expected to follow or to respect your parents. Kay ikaw, bata lang. Okay. So let us discuss or talk about the two types of norms, the prescriptive norm and prescriptive norm. May mga prescriptive norm defines and tell us things not to do. Masang prescriptive norm. Amo na naghambal sa aton kung ano ang mga bagay nga hindi pwede naton obrahon kay ina sala ka hindi pwede. Ang prescriptive norms naman ang mga bagay nga dapat naton himuon. Okay, next is according sa forms, we have folkways. No? Ang folkways isa sa forms ng norms are also known as customs or customary repetitive ways of doing things. They are forms of norms for everyday behavior that people follow for the sake of tradition or convenience. For example, we Filipinos eat with our bare hands. So, mga example sa folkways. Ang pagkaon, gamit ang aton nga kamot. No? Kasi ibang nga kultura, no, iya dapat naka kutsara, naka fork and spoon. Kita ya kinamot isa sa mga folkways naton. Next is mores. are strict norms that control moral and ethical behavior. They are based on definitions of right and wrong. So, doon mabasa ang the stricter na aspect no sa norms by which it is based on the definition kung ano ang insakto kag ang sala. For example, since our country, Philippines, is a Christian nation, we are expected to practice monogamous marriage, no? Kay kung Christian country kita, ang mga Christian nagapati nga dapat ang inyong asawa isa lang. Kay kung magita ka sa asawa nga isa pagid, which is yung kabit or the kabit or sa Ilonggo kadidang, that is ma-consider as immoral. Because polygamy is considered as taboo in Philippine society or sala, no? Sala ang mangirida no sa Philippine society because its norms is we should have practice monogamous marriage. Okay. Next is laws. Are controlled ethics and they are morally agreed, written down and enforced by an official law enforcement agency. Or amo na niya tawag naton si Ilonggo nga layi. Nga ini kung imo siya suwayon, may karampatan nga parusa no or penalty. Mapriso ikaw or mabayad ka sa penalty. Okay. Next, let us proceed to the two components of culture, the material culture and the non-material culture. Mahambal kita na material culture consists of tangible things. Tangible, matandog nimo, makita nimo. So it refers to the physical objects, resources, and spaces that people use to define their culture. Include na ang atong mga balay, ang eskwelahan, simbahan, ingod balay, factory, mga templo, mga products, mga pagkaon, and many other that can be touched or that can be seen. That is material culture. Maghamba naman kita nga non-material culture are those consist of intangible things. Example sa mga intangible things na hindi mo siya ma-touch are beliefs nato, mga pagpati nato, values, no? Rules, mga kasubuan nato, norms, morals, language, organizations, and institutions. So, amo na example sa mga non-material culture. Okay. Let us proceed to the modes of acquiring culture. O, paano ma-acquire ang mga cultures ng iban? We have imitation, indoctrination or suggestion, and the last will be conditioning. For imitation, from the word imitate, no? Children and adults alike have a tendency to imitate the values, attitudes, language, and all other things in their social environment. No? Especially sa bata, bala, kaya to notice, kung tuduan mo ang bata, kung may ginaobra ka nga bagay, may times na ginailog-ilog sa bata ang imo ginaobra. No, that is imitation. And until such time nga ginpabalik-balik nga practice until na-acquire na niya ina nga culture, no? Gin-imitate niya, gin-ilog. Second, indoctrination or suggestion. This may take the form of formal training. So, dali naman niya, ginatudlo mismo sa isa ka individual, no? Informal teaching or it can be done in formal teaching nga natunan sa eskwelahan, no? Informally, pwede natin ma-acquire sa paglantaw o pagpamati sa mga lantawon, pagbasa, pag-attend sa training, and through interaction. Next will be conditioning. So the values, beliefs, and attitudes of other people are acquired through conditioning. So that is, can be reinforced using the reward and punishment system. So, in using these modes of acquiring culture through conditioning, we are giving reward if kung ang ginapaubra nimo, ang ginagusto mo ipatrain sa isa ka tawo is makuha niya, gusto niya tigaw mo siya reward. Kung hindi makuha, there will be punishment. Until such time nga ma-master na niya ang certain culture or ang certain na bagay na gusto mo niya nga tun-an. Okay. So, next will be adaptation of culture. We have parallelism. Means that the same culture may take place in two or more different places. Okay. Kung boss lingon, ang kultura pwede matabo or mag-occur in two or more different places or nagkalain-lain nga setting or lugar. So, example, domestication of dogs, cats, and pigs, and other animals may have resemblance in other places. No, ang pagsagod sa ido, mga kasapatan sa panimalay is example of parallelism, no? Nga nakatabo man sa ibang nga society, no? Sa ibang nasyon, sa ibang lugar. Okay, next is diffusion. Refers to those behavioral patterns that pass back and forth from one culture to another. So this is the transfer or spread of culture traits from one another brought about by change agents such as people or media. From the word diffuse, kumbaga naglapta siya, no? Ang paglapta or ang pag-spread, no, sa kultura within and across groups, no? Example, ang pagkaon ang aton nga mga practices ng pagkaon, marriage and wedding ceremonies, burial rituals, kag ang pagselebrar sa mga fiesta are example of diffusion. Okay. Next is convergence. Takes place when two or more cultures are fused or merged into one culture, making it different from the original culture. Mga convergence, the word converge, kumbaga isa sila. Then, once nag-isa sila, it will be different from the original culture. Next is fission. Takes place when people break away from their original culture at start developing a different culture of their own. Kumbaga, nagbulag siya, no, sa dati nilang kultura, then nagkabuhi siya or nag-stand siya, no, by her or his own. That's why may fission nga tabo. Next is acculturation. Refers to the process wherein individuals incorporate the behavioral patterns of other cultures into their own, either voluntary or by force. Voluntary acculturation occurs through imitation, borrowing, or personal contact with other people. Kumbaga, gin-adapt nimo, no, gin-imitate nimo ang kultura sang iban nga grupo, no? That is acculturation. Or imo lang ginhulam tapos mabaka ay nang iniay ng ang imo abi attitude nga pagkaon sang mga French food. So gin apply nimo sa imong kabuhi or sa imong household or within sa inyong grupo. So that is acculturation. Next is assimilation. Occurs when the culture of a larger society is adapted by a smaller society. That smaller society assumes some of the culture of the larger society or cost society. So dali nagakatabo kung ang gamay abi nga grupo, no, nag-impon sa dako nga grupo, ang tendency sa gamay nga grupo is ang mga practices sa larger society iya nga gina-adapt or iya nga gina-practice. 7. Accommodation. Occurs when the larger society and smaller society are able to respect and tolerate each other's culture. So, dali katabo ang mutual respect. No? Even though nag-impon sila, but still ara man Japon ang pagrespeto kag may toleration, no? Matolerate nila ang isa kag isa, no? Hindi nila gaakigay sila o nag-aaway sila tungod hindi magsalanto ang ilang kultura. Okay, gaintindihanay. Next, let us discuss the causes of cultural change. Ang mga causes. Una, discovery. No? For example, discovery, ang pag-discover, ang pag-find out sa mga bagong lugar or object or anything, no, that is previously existed. Example sa pag-discover sang kalayo. So, kung na-discover ang kalayo, na-discover man sa mga tao nga pwede gali makaluto, no? Paagi ang kalayo. Okay, next is invention. Ang pag-create sa mga bag-o nga mga butang or mga bagay-bagay sa aton nga palibot. Example of social invention is invention of number system, sa government, no? Ang pag-invent sa mga machines are examples of invention nga nagakos nga nagabago ang aton kultura. Next is diffusion. Is the spread of cultural traits or social practices from a society or group to another belonging to the same society or to another through direct contact with each other and exposure to new forms. Mga nag-diffuse, nag-spread siya within group or across the group. Examples of mga social processes is your acculturation, assimilation. Ang acculturation, cultural borrowing o ginhulan mo lang kag-imitate, are said to be best English-speaking people of Asia o ang paghambas ng English kaya ito nga dapat ma-Filipino kita but we borrow, that is acculturation. So assimilation naman, blending or fusion of two distinct cultures, no? Example is the Americanization of Filipino immigrants to the US, that is assimilation. Amalgamation naman, the biological or hereditary fusion of members of different societies. Kumbaga, amalgamation ang pag-asawa, example sa isa ka Pilipina kay isa ka American or ang Filipino kag ang American. It is amalgamation. Enculturation naman is the deliberate infusion of a new culture to another. Tudlo or ang teaching of American history and culture of the Filipinos during the early American regime is example of enculturation. Next will be colonization, refers to the political, social, and political policy establishing a colony. So that is sa aton nga common term nga tawag na siya nga ang pananakop. So ang pinaka-bantog nga pananakop nga natabo is for us Filipinos in the Philippines, the Hispanization of Filipino culture when the Spaniards came and conquered the Philippines. Ang ginsakop kita sa mga Kastila. Next will be rebellion and revolutionary. So that is movements aim to change the whole social order and replace the leadership. Mga revolusyon, mga pag-rebelde, no, kay gusto nila nga may pagbago. Until such time, until subong may ara kita yung tawag ng mga rebellions and revolutionaries. No, nga nagapush man Japan sang pagbago sa aton liderato and everything which is aims to change the social order. Okay. Let us proceed to ethnocentrism, sinocentrism, cultural relativism as orientations in viewing other cultures. So, importante ini for us to understand also, no, on how to view or to look at the other cultures around the world. Nga, para hindi kita, ano bala ang mga good etiquette, no, nga dapat aton i-observe in addressing or viewing other cultures in our society. Una, ethnocentrism. Na maganda ang ethnocentrism, it is a perception that arises from the fact that cultures differ and each culture defines reality differently. So, ang panawan nga ang kada kultura is nagakalain-lain. No? The same man, lain-lain man, lantawon sa kada kultura kung ano ang kamatuuran, kung ano ang palibot. No? This happens when judging another culture solely by the values and standards of one's own culture. This is the tendency to see and evaluate other cultures in terms of one's own race, nation, or culture. Sa ethnocentrism, dili mo ginananta o ginajudge ni mo ang kultura sa ibang gamit mismo ang imo ko agalingon nga kultura. So, ang tendency nagiging unfair ikaw, no? Whereas sinocentrism is the opposite of ethnocentrism. So ethnocentrism, it is the feeling or belief that one's culture is better than the rest. No? So ethnocentrism, ginalantaw ni mo nga ang imo culture or imo kultura ang pinaka the best culture among the rest. While ang sinocentrism naman niya is opposite. Ginalantaw mo naman niya nga mas pigado or inferior ang imo culture compared to others. People are highly influenced by the culture or many culture outside the realm of their society. This could be one of the effects of globalization. Okay, next will be cultural relativism. Cultural relativism is an attempt to judge behavior according to its cultural context. It is a principle that an individual person's beliefs and activities should be understood by others in terms of that individual's own culture. Amo dapat ang obrahon naton, no? Aton nga i-evaluate, no? Aton nga i-assess ang kultura sang iban gamit ang ila mismo man nga kultura, hindi ang aton nga kultura. Correct? It's because of different societies. Ang rason is different societies have different moral code, no? May gakalain-lain kita nga moral code, no? Lain ang sa Filipino, lain ang sa American. Second, the moral code of a society determines what is right or wrong within the society. So there are times nga sa ibang nga nasyon legalya o okay ang pagpahulog diri sa aton hindi pwede. Sa iba niya okay ang same-sex marriage, sa aton hindi pwede. So that's it. We cannot judge or we cannot evaluate or critique the culture of others using our own culture. Okay, next. There are no moral truths that hold for all people at all times, no? Wala, kumbaga, wala isang universal, no? Nga kamatuuran, gid man, no? It's because there are things nga baka, ay, it's true sa ako, sa iya, sa piyak to hindi. Sa iya hindi tuod, no? Baka, para sa akong tuod nga may Diyos, pero sa isa to katawi, hindi tuod nga may Diyos. So that's it. The moral code of our own society has no special status. It is but one among many. Kumbaga, wala niya label. Hindi ka mabana, okay, ang kultura sang Pilipino ang pinaka the best na tanan. And the last one will be, it is arrogant for us to judge other cultures, so we have to be tolerant to them. Na arrogant di ikaw, ma-judge mo ang ilang culture, no? Ang obrahon naton, let's be tolerant, no? Kung okay sa ilang culture ang same-sex marriage, then if super no diri sa aton, then it's for us to respect, kaya hindi mo sila pag-judge because you do not understand where they are coming from. Okay? Okay, let's proceed to the other important terms related to culture. First is cultural diversity. So when we say cultural diversity, it refers to the differentiation of culture over the world. From the word diverse, no? Kumbaga kalain-lain. So meaning, wala sa insakto kag sala ang kultura, no? But there is appropriate culture for the need of a specific group of people. Okay? Wala sa insakto kag sala ang kultura, pero may ginatawag kita nga appropriate or gakatama lang ang kultura para sa specific nga tao, hindi para sa tanan. Second, subculture. Mama na subculture, smaller group within a larger culture. Next is counterculture. Refers to cultural patterns that strongly oppose those widely accepted within a society. Okay, so example, sinama counterculture, those culture na naga-contradict or naga-oppose, no, some acceptable or widely acceptable nga kultura. Next, number 4, cultural lag is experienced when some parts of a society do not change as fast as with other parts and they are left behind. Cultural lag, kumbaga nag-lag ikaw, late ikaw, no? Kumbaga kung sa ano pa nga ibang late update. Okay. Next will be culture shock. Common in isang termo na culture shock ako. It is the inability to read meaning in one's surroundings, feeling of loss and isolation. Ina ba lang baka nga daw na out of place ikaw, hala, wala na sa amon niya, nga ano natingala ka nga ay okay lang dali yang magkisay sa tunga sandalan ang babae kag lalaki. So there are times na kung nagdako ka sa kultura nga nga lubrahon is bawal or tama ka immoral giman sa imo nga kultura, then ma-culture shock ikaw. 6. Ideal culture refers to the social patterns mandated by cultural values and norms. Kung amar sa ang pinaka mga ideal gani kumbaga ang perfect nga gina-mandate by cultural values and norms. Okay. Real culture amo na sa ang actual patterns nga ginaobragid naton or being practiced. Ang ideal amo na ang gina-prescribe. Ang real amo na ang gina-actually being practiced. High culture naman refers the cultural patterns that distinguish a society's elite. Ang high culture naman niya para sa mga tao nga sa alta sosyedad kuno ang ginhambal nila, sa mga manggaranon, sa mga high ranking. And number 9, popular culture. From the word popular, amo na sa ang widely ginagamit sa kalabanan or sa madla or sa masses. And the last one will be cultural change is the manner by which culture evolves. Ang pagbago sa culture along time. Okay? So, that's for our lecture for this module. Let's proceed to the enrichment activity. For activity 1, you are going to complete the graphic organizers below by providing what is asked in each item. Your own definition of society and culture. Here, you write your definition here and in this part also. That is for letter A. The importance of your own society and culture. You use this diagram to write your answer. You write your answer in a sheet of paper. Importance of my society, importance of my culture. Okay. And for the enrichment activity 2, you're going to list down the characteristics of society and culture. Write your answer in a sheet of paper, no? Anong characteristics ng society? Anong characteristics ng culture? So, try to go back to the previous part of our lecture and try to refer to your module in answering this part. You're going to copy. Okay. For enrichment activity 3, you are going to describe the food gathering activities or subsistence in the following types of societies. Write your answer in a separate sheet of paper. Okay. So, kagina, gin-discuss na nila ang types of society, then you write sa ila nga short description kung paano sila magkuha sa ilang ginakaon or sa ilang ginakabuhi. No, that is according to economic material, according to evolutionary review, and according to people's subsistence. Okay? Okay. Next will be activity 1. You are going to answer the following questions briefly but substantially. Short but concise lang ha. Write your answer in a separate sheet of paper. Your answers will be scored based on the rubrics below. So this is the rubrics ha. Ang questions ano ni, how are society and culture interlinked with one another? Ano ang connection, no? Ang interrelationships ang kultura kag society. Second, why is culture important in our society? Nga man importante ang kultura sa aton nga sosyedad. Number 3, how does our culture play a role in our functions in the society? Ano ang role o ano ang papel na ginagampanan, no, sa kultura sa aton nga function, no, bilang membro sa sosyedad. Okay. For activity 2, guided with the rubrics provided below here, draw and explain how you can show that you are proud of your own culture and what you can do to help preserve tangible and intangible Filipino culture. So you do this in a bond paper, no? Imo madrawing ikaw sa kung paano nimo mapakita nga proud ikaw sa imong kaugalingon nga kultura, kag kung paano ikaw makabulig nga ma-preserve ang tangible o intangible Filipino culture. Okay. Next, last part will be the assessment, by which we will be answering some of the questions from 1 to 20. The same way, may ara answer key sa inyong module. Try to refer to the answer key being provided to you at the end of your learning module. Okay, for question number 1, which of the following is characterized by communal ownership of property and division of labor? Communal property and division of labor, it's letter D. The correct answer for this is letter D. It's pre-class society. Number 2, which is considered to be the hallmark of modern society? Modern society, it's information and communication technology. Amo na sa ang hallmark, no? Or trademark naton. Number 3, which of the following types of society is characterized as by economy that is dependent on tangible goods and the people must pursue greater education? So that is in post-industrial. Okay. The answer for this is letter D, post-industrial. For question number 6, technological tools, architectural structures, fashion, and accessories, and food are all examples of what component of culture? It's letter C, no? Mga tangible, or is material culture. Letter C. Question number 5, which one is considered as the perception of individuals to accepted reality? Perception, that is what we call belief, ang aton nga pagpati or atong ginatuuhan. Okay, number 6, what type of norms tell us thing to do? Things to do is letter C, that is prescriptive. Kung anong gina-prescribe. Okay. For question number 7, what type of norms tell us things not to do? That is letter D, proscriptive, ang hindi dapat naton obrahon. Okay. For number 8, what form of norm is codified ethics formally agreed and written down and enforced by authorities? Enforced by authorities, ang aton nga key term is, answer for this is letter B, that is laws, or sa Ilonggo, hiligay nun, tawagin nga layi. Next, number 9. Which one is an act that violates a social norm? Conflict, defiance, rebellion, ritualism. Number 9 is letter B. It's defiance. Okay. Next will be number 10. Which of the following is not true? A. Prospective norms are those that define and tell things as not to do. B. Societal norms are of different types of norms. C. Prescriptive norms are those that define and tell us things to do. D. Society and culture are the same. Letter D. Kay lain nga term ang culture kag ang society. Okay. Next, number 11. Which represent the standards we use to evaluate the desirability of things? Number 11, the correct answer is letter D. Letter D, it's values. 11, values. What human action by which one tends to duplicate more or less or exactly the behavior of others? Letter B, imitate nimo. Number 13, what do you call of Mount Terza's family's customary patterns of everyday life that specify what is socially correct and proper? That is letter D, norms, right and correct and proper. Number 14, what does it mean when we say culture is holistic? Mga holistic, it is number 14, letter A, it is integrated. Kumbaga, it tackles the whole part. Number 15, which is the least essential statement? The least essential statement is number 15, it's letter B. A society represents the beliefs, practices, and artifacts of group. Okay. For number 16, which statement is irrelevant? It's letter A. Culture is an adaptive mechanism for humans. Okay. Next, 17. A tractor is to Mangose, a traditional farmer who doesn't know to operate it. This is an example of what concept of culture. It's what we call number 17, letter A, culture lag, kaya hindi siya naging updated. Okay. 18, which is not true about cultural relativism. Not true about cultural relativism, it's letter D. None of the above because it's all true on statement A, B, and C. Number 19, which is not correct about culture. Number 19 is letter B. It is something biological. No, culture is not biological. Number 20, the answer for number 20, which statement is irrelevant? Number 20 is letter A. Socialization plays no part in personality formation in individuals. Okay, that's all for your assessment. And this is the end for your module 2 in your subject. So this is the answer key for the assessment from 1 to 20. That's all for your subject, understanding culture, society, and politics. Good luck in doing your modules, activities, and tests. Goodbye.